Hello? 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 Let me just check this. Yeah, it's working. All's good. I felt like there was a brief moment where I was like, because the microphone default. I'm just telling you all this. The microphone defaults to my headphones, so I have to manually select the microphone itself. It's fine, not a bother. Did that, but then I never actually checked to make sure it was picking up, was working, was actually plugged in. But here we are, 1992, WCW, WWF. Been a couple of days. To be honest, I think it's only been since Tuesday. So not the longest little hiatus. Jeep Swenson would like to hang out. Sure, that's fine. Gorilla's been passing on tips to his son. Linda's passing on tips to Shane. Skinner ran some drills. Jerry was brought before Wrestler's Court. Had a good effect. Sean was brought before Wrestler's Court. Had a positive effect. Nice. Address the locker room. I'm going to stage an intervention for Louis Spicoli. Just annoyed him. Alright. Sweet. Trying to get you off the drugs, Louis. You fucking reprobate. You're not even annoyed by it. Why are you happy? Bonus. Stage environment, apparently. Furious at an incident. Irritated at nearly causing a botch. Angry at a pre-show interaction. I just can't win with you, Mr. Spicoli. I can't win with you. So here we are, Prime Time Wrestling. I believe we actually book this one. We do book this one. I was caught off guard by how well I did those angles. So we are here, June 1st, 1992. WWF. Prime Time Wrestling. Let's get back into the groove. I'm gonna be honest with you. Had a couple of drinks. Excuse me. The stream could end abruptly, as I am going out to celebrate a couple of things tonight. So if I do suddenly call it quits, that is why. Or if I'm a little bit more loose-lipped, it'll be the Guinness. But thankfully, the mouth ulcer seems to have mostly sorted itself out. Sorry, I was just distracted by a WWF TV taping at Hershey, Pennsylvania from January 6th, 1987. It was a triple main event, 2 title matches. Hogan against Hercules Hernandez. There was also a live snake pit hosted by Jake the Roberts. Savage against Steamboat, plus Junkyard Dog and British Bulldog, the Hart Foundation Honky Tonk Fan. I also see Killer Bees, Kamala, Tito, Iron Sheik, Butch Reed, Lanny Poffo, George Steele. So really, it doesn't necessarily seem like too much has changed between 87 and now. Like, if we're completely honest, a lot of those wrestlers, like Hercules Hernandez, has fallen right down the card. Is there a different Hercules picture? Hercules Hernandez. Yeah, man. He used to look so much like a tank. Hate that one. That's pretty cool. I actually quite like that one of him. Anyway, Primetime Wrestling. Vince McMahon moderates tonight's panel, which features Duggan, Hillbilly Jim, Heenan, and Perfect. Heenan is happy that the Bossman was beat up because the Bossman imprisoned an innocent man. We can squeeze that in. We can need a few more angles. Yeah, he could just be happy. So let's have Vince, Bobby, Jim Duggan, Jim, Mr. Perfect, ooh, and Ray Stevens. Oh, Ray Stevens isn't available for this show. Oh, he is. Is Primetime Wrestling our age? No, Superstars is. On talking about Nails and Big Boss Man. Nice. Part of me is transitioning Ray Stevens to be on these kind of panels. In the opening contest, Tito defeated Mike Fury in 3:53. Typical squash. After the match, Monsoon argues that ring announcer Mike McGurk is interested in El Matador. Ah, thank you. Let's have... Where is Tito? There he is. He can take on heel, male... Oh, the Genius has made his way up to recognisable. He can take on Skinner. Only done once in February. Fair play. Considering the amount of matches or squashes we do put on. Quick Tito win. Kamala squash is shown from Wrestling Challenge. Gene Oakland's update. You know, I don't do this kind of like stuttering in like regular talking life. It's only when I'm reading aloud. Gene Oakland's update segment recaps the Ultimate Warrior Papa Shango feud. In the studio, Heenan has turned his back and tells the panelist he does not want to see the effects of the voodoo on Warrior. I thought there'd be like slightly more to that, but there isn't. And we have Gene putting a promo. We can also have Papa Shango, Sid, and the Ultimate Warrior. 4 minutes seems a bit long, but it might be fine. A Virgil Pat Tanaka match is shown. Footage of Papa Shango laying out a jobber with voodoo on the recent Superstars airs. Afterwards, Duggan tells the panelists that all wrestlers are going to be scared to go to the ring with Shango from now on. But McMahon remains skeptic of Shango's voodoo powers. Laying out, I think it was Snooker, who wrestled twice. Made me feel like a fool. I guess Papa cutting a promo. Papa. I need to stop calling him that. I'm interested in cutting a promo on the Ultimate Warrior. McMahon reminds viewers that the WBF Championship will take place. I'll try this again. McMahon reminds viewers that the WBF Championship will take place on pay-per-view June 13th. When McMahon asks the panelists who will win, Heenan picks Barry DeMay because he has great legs. He wants to pick Luger, but can't because Luger is not competing. Duggan beats Jim Quinn because he has a good diet. Jim likes Eddie Robinson, leading to a joke by Heenan that he was unaware that Grambling's university head football coach was competing. It's a joke that goes over my head. We can just have Vince as an interviewer with legs. Putting a promo. Just getting him on the show, getting his name out there. The Mountie beats Rock Werner after a dropkick in 136. Just some kind of shenanigans during... Oh, Dino Bravo? When does he come back in? Yeah, I mean, he's on the show, so... Where are we? 1992. 85 to 92. Oh, while still on the WWF roster, Bravo travelled to Capital Sport Promotions and debuted in 91, teaming with Fidel Sierra, and he lost to Carlos Colon in Invader 1. On January 20th, Bravo faced the Mountie in Quebec, billed his retirement match. Bravo was victorious. However, his retirement was not permanent. He returned to action with the WWF during their European tour in April 92. April 11th, he faced longtime foe Duggan in a match in Milan in Italy. He unsuccessfully challenged Brett for the IC title in Munich, which would air Primetime Wrestling this show. His final match was televised on Sky Movies and came at UK Rampage 92, where he teamed with Sheik against the Legion of Doom in Sheffield. Following the European tour, Bravo wrestled for the last time. And then, less than a year later, found shot dead. Can we bring him in? Dino Bravo. Let's get you on a written. For a year? You can be on ATV. Oh, except house shows. How do you feel about that? Nice? Yeah. I'm happy to bring Dino Bravo in. Let's have so that's a 15-minute Brett match. He was brought out of retirement by the WWF for its European tour when roster turnover forced it to adjust some of its cards. Brett does a second chest fist corner bump but quickly recovers and hits a backbreaker and wins with a second rope elbow drop. One of the few recorded times that move finishes a match for him. Bravo's reliance on rest holds weighed down the match, and Brett had to do nearly all the work. This would be Bravo's last televised appearance, and he would be murdered the following year. Instead, can we have... How long is that match? 13 minutes, that's not bad. Let's have Brett take on Kerry Von Erich, why not? Stick Brett over. It's an IC title match. Perfect. Stick that. Can be nearer the top. A Bossman squash was shown, and the attack from the unknown convict is shown afterwards. Let's see if I can get that in. The Big Bossman's match on Superstars and the vicious attack perpetuated by the unknown convict afterwards is shown. Three. It's our Big Boss Man and Nails. Nice. The Berserker squash is shown. A replay of Crusher's Junkyard vignette. Dares. Sergeant Slaughter says the Mountie crippled him for an hour, but now he's at 100% and is going to put him in the Cobra Clutch. Nice. So we can have Sean Mooney's the interviewer with Sergeant Slaughter. Nope, cutting a promo of the Mountie. Backstage interview. 3 minutes is fine. Bret Hart vows to take on any challenges for his title. Skinner beats Jim Powers in 707 in a match that we're not going to do. Heenan says that he called down Cobb Country for an update on Bossman's condition. The bad news is that Bossman's jaw is wired, but good news is that Bossman can suck grits. Okay. Two of the featured bouts on the show were recycled from past primetime episodes and featured acts that are no longer with the company. The only novelty that this show had was Bravo's last televised match. The lack of discussion of the WWF title picture is due to Randy's separation from Liz, since she would no longer be used as an on-screen character for the company. As a result, the WWF... Oh shit, I just dropped my phone, sorry. Fucking hell, he's had one drink. As a result, the WWF were having to come up with a new storyline to continue the Savage Flair feud, and it was not yet decided on an angle. Let's have a 2v2. We can have face Let's have Warrior and Kenny Kendall take on heels Haku and Brawler. 5 minutes should do. Let's stick Kendall over. I'm happy to make that match the main event, so if we move here and here, we can have a 3v3 of heels, Axe, Smash, and Mike Anthony? Axe, Smash, and Busick. Taking on faces Brian Adams, Brian Costello, and Jim Powers. Let's stick Busick over. Have a one-on-one. Let's put Shawn Michaels over face Volkov. I feel like we've done this match a fair amount. Only twice. I'll take that. 7 minutes with Shawn going over. Can fit one more match in 18 minutes. We might fit another match and another angling. Who else am I trying to build up? Bulldog, he can beat heel the Genius. He can beat the Barbarian, actually. 10 minutes should be fine. Stick Bulldog over. Let's make it a wild brawl. Which means we can have this one work the crowd. Let's just add as a main event. We have no wrestlers who are stars. Who's here? Doing faces. Hawk. Tatanka. Slaughter. Heels. Oh, Typhoon's made his way up to well known. You go, Typhoon. What if we have IRS lose to face Randy Savage? Oh, The Undertaker, why not? Yeah, we haven't done this as a match. So just 10 minutes is fine. Undertaker going over. And if we just add like a SummerSlam advert. Three minutes, just a hype, pre-taped video. Stick everyone in. Nice. As well as Boodog and Shawn. It can be improvised, I don't mind. I don't mind, I'm not too precious. 73% would not be penalised. Let's go. So we got the Primetime Wrestling opening, that went down a treat. Tito defeated Skinner in 2:45 with a flying forearm. Heenan is happy, and the Bossman was beat up on Superstars because the Bossman imprisoned an innocent man. Ooh, Perfect and Ray Stevens are an awkward pairing on comedy, that's not great. Shawn defeated Volkov in 6:04 with a sweet chin music, in a match that was designed to work the crowd. Let's check. Commentary. Obviously Heenan Monsoon, TV. Was it Mr. Perfect and Ray Stevens that were an awkward pairing? Well, we could just have... What if we stick Maniac Mark in? Just because I imagine Maniac Mark also is gonna retire at some point. We can try some other people. Let's try Sean Moon. We can try Michael Porter. And we can try Jerry Lawler. There we go. June Oakland's update segment recaps the Warrior Shango feud. In a decent wild brawl, Bulldog defeated the Barbarian in 10-15 in a match that I'd hoped would have done better. Footage of Shango laying out snooker with voodoo on the recent Superstars airs. In a bout which had decent reaction from the crowd but terrible wrestling, Busick, Demolition and Costello. Busick and Demolition. Seen Big Bully Busick, that's where Biff Busick got it. Defeated Costello, Brian Adams and Jim Powers when Busick submitted Costello with a stump puller. Slaughter says that the Mountie crippled him for an hour, but now he's at 100%. He's got to put him in the Cobra Clutch. An extremely short match, Warrior and Kenny Kendall defeated Haku in the Brawler, and Kendall submitted Haku. So how come... Like, because it cooled the crowd, that's why? McMahon reminds viewers that the WBF Championship will take place on pay-per-view on June 13th. In a bout which had great heat and decent wrestling, Hitman defeated Kerry in 12:57 with a sharpshooter to make defence number 1 of the IC title. The Big Boss Man's match on Superstars and the vicious attack perpetuated by the Unknown Convict afterwards is shown. In a bout which had fantastic heat and good wrestling, Taker defeated IRS in 9:56 with the Tombstone Piledriver. We then end with a SummerSlam ad. Nice. Vancha Report made 2K. Always happy with that. Oh, big stretch. So the newest... Just date this video, as I always do. The newest Tony Hawk's video is up. Episode 5. Tony Hawk's Underground in 2025 is perfect. I'm going to give you a little hint, anyone that's watching this. The next one is going to be is the best in the franchise. Are we hiring the Diamond Stud? No, because we're WCW. Brad Armstrong has agreed to a written contract with New Japan, that's fine. Oh, their offer's not being seriously considered. 18 months for 96, we're offering 10 years at 93. Terry Gordy's gone from Nuge. We've lost the Diamond Stud. Nuge. When have I ever said that? And Freddie Blassie is hung up in his boots. Freddie Blassie has retired. Off from in-ring, this could be imported him who's a wrestler. That's fine, he can continue doing the do. Other people are making Roddy Piper offers. 125 for 2 years. When does he leave for WCW? '96. Yeah, we can keep him. So what they offered him? 125. I guess I'll have to offer 130 for still 3 years. I'd seriously accept these terms and consider time for you. Perfect. Marcus Laurinaitis wants to be called up. WCW made a contract, that's fine. Automatic resignation. Following the retirement, you have automatically started limited contract negotiations with Freddie Blassie to take into account the change in circumstances. You may alternately mutually agree to release him at no cost, with none of the normal penalties. His contract is an exclusive written. He's currently making $30,000 a month. He is valued at around $25,000. Yeah, that's fine. Don't you play smart with me? Yeah, I'm hiring Scott Hall. Nice. So what if actually... Yeah, that's a pretty solid team. Grillo, Monsoon, Michael Porter. What if I add Freddie Blassie? Why does Slaughter suddenly have issues? What's he irritated at? Atmosphere. It's fair. That's fair. You're at 110. Didn't I just give you a bonus? Are you happy again now anyway? Skinner! Got minor morale issues. What's the issue? Just the general backstage environment. What's your contract at? 10. If I give you 15, who else is unhappy? Slaughter. What are you on? 69! Jesus. What if I give you 51,000? Happy. Nice. Just trying to keep everyone happy these days. So we have superstars in 4 days. Eric Bischoff is here at least. I wonder if there's been any updates to any mods. I planned to check this before I started streaming and then just completely forgot. TEW IX mods. Looks like stuff's been said in 98. Real world. In my head, I'm kind of like, oh, I wouldn't mind doing like something on the 2018 mod, but at the same time, like, maybe like an AEW from the start could be quite fun. Seems like everyone's having morale issues. Oh, it's the 98 mod released. Thanks, going in. Any update? What's going on in Real World Chronicles? Ooh, an April release. Not too much going on, it seems. At least nothing with the 1985 mod. Oh well, we carry on. We move. What else is happening? Whoever that was, Scott Patinsky. Does he sign with WCW? Scott Putsky? He seems familiar. Or was he previously in the WWF? Putsky appeared in the WWF early in '93, winning dark matches on January 4 and 5th. Once again, made no other appearances. Oh, he got injured in '97 in WWF. Had a brief hiatus and then was in WCW. Nice. I thought he looked familiar. He does wrestle a little bit in '93 in WWF. January. Well, we've still got a couple of months. Might shortlist him. Al Madril's left. That's fair. Hopefully it wasn't a bad leaving. Let's go to WWF. I just want to shortlist him, so we know he's there. What's going on for us? How much are they? 2 years at 125. Like, not as serious as ours. One of the offers you take seriously. Ugh. 135. 145. One of the offers you take seriously. $1,500. What do you mean one of the offers you take seriously? What would you like? What if I give you, I don't know. It's a bit much of a signs bonus. 50k. Thank you. So what are they offering? That's like so good. View arrival offers. Oh, 94,000 signing bonus. 125, 2 years, 10% per events and ATV shows. Maybe I am asking for a bit much. 30 days left on Ross Hart's contract. I'm willing to extend that. Remind me again in 3 months. Back gun wants to be called up. Bruce Hart's thing. Once again. Handshake, pair show, no ironclad. Remind me again in 3 months. Alright, let's continue. So I think we have Superstars and WCW Saturday Night. Let's see if main event is updated at all. See if we have a show for it. No, the next one's 6/14. The 14th of June. Yeah. That's fine. I'm happy just auto booking that show. Abdullah bonds with Giant Baba. Contract negotiations with Mr. Hughes. Yeah, main roster. Paul Levesque. He goes a heel to PNW. King Kalua signed a one-night deal, so is Colonel De Beers. VBD. Ah. How are they doing? I assume they had 100 grand and they just keep dropping money. But show-wise... show history, there we go. Show-wise they're doing fine. At least Tony Sinclair is getting some matches out of it. Alright, Glenn Jacobs, you can go to WWE. Roddy Piper. What's the crack? Yokozuna wants to be called up. Keith Hart doesn't have long left. Afa wants to be called up. Keith, once again, willing to put you on a handshake. 3 months. No, we can assess at that time. Let me just check on my Roddy Piper contract. View rival offers, everything looks more or less the same. Make offer. One of the ones he considers. Perfect. Wait, one of the ones you consider, not unless a better offer comes my way. Ugh. Piper, you can wrestle on events and ATV shows. Yeah. Just keep offering that man a new contract. Just keep offering him it. Mark Mest, 6 foot, 400 pounds. See what Mark Mest is up to. Mark Mest wrestler. Mark Mest does not have a wiki page. Mr. Mark West. Mark West began in 1991. Retired in 2017. Yeah, brawler, mean Mark West. No cage match rating. What's his career looking like? Career highlights? Nothing. Okay. It's alright. He wrestled for International World Class Championship Wrestling. Chris Benoit argument. That's a great name. A 22-year-old Russian MMA fighter. Fair enough. Chris Canyon is going on tour. Eric Bischoff's contract's ending. Let's get you under an exclusive written per month. Be whatever we need for the next 10 years. 15,000's fine with me. Nice. Nikolai Kolov has a handshake. Tony Sinclair, handshake with New Japan. Let's move to WWF. Phineas wants to be called up, that's fine. The Hart brothers can be signed. Piper, how are we still looking on that contract? Thank you. Doop, bop, beep. Kerry, you're kind of dragging your feet on this contract renewal. What's going on? What's going on? Chris Champion, part of the Malenko School of Wrestling. Didn't we figure about Chris Champion? Then they have strokes and have to stop. Chris Champion. Was that in WCW? June 93, yeah. Yoshi Kwan. Yeah, multiple strokes. You know what? Kerry Von Erich. Yeah, main roster. I was gonna actually bring... No, I'll bring him into WCW. No. Heel, main roster, that's fine for Dino Bravo. Keith, you can come in. Scott Hall, you're also taking your time to kind of sign with us. Make offer. That's a better offer comes. Nice. Scoop, chitty doop. Let's change to WCW. Where is Chris Champion? I would like to bring you in. Just a handshake, pair show. 93, June 93, leaves November. It's 2 years. Perfect. That's fine. Who is he tag champs with? Sean Ryle? Tony Flack? Yeah, I think Sean Royal is the person I'm wanting to bring him in with. Again, handshake, pair show, no ironclad, 2 years. Barbarian. I feel like I need to constantly heal main roster here. Ugh, 25 days, what? Barbarian was heavily pushed. So he does just wrestle as the Barbarian. That's fine. Eddie Guerrero, handshake. Johnny B. Badsford. PN News resides in the southeast. Where's the Barbarian? We can push you as the Barbarian. Do we have a different picture for you? Yeah, I like that one. Something a little different. So we've got Power Hour tonight. WCW's hired the Barbarian, that's fine with me. Extensions for Guerrero and Bison Kimura. Doug Furness had an argument in All Japan. So we're at Power Hour. Where are we? New week. What month are we in? June? April. Oh yeah, 31st of May was last month. So I guess now we're back in the southeast. Well, the locker room instance. Scott Hall wants to hang out, do you? That's fine, Scott. Yeah, she will come on in. Tommy Lane, of course you can. Rocky, everyone's hanging out at this Power Hour taping. Rocky Morton was in fine form. So was Jim Ross. Ann Anderson ran some drills. Some heat between Dick Slater and Tony Schiavone. We don't need to do any locker room in meddling. So we'll just auto book this B show quickly and then get onto WCW Saturday night, which will be booked. Nice. Just get rid of some of these angles. Open her up with a WCW Power Hour opening. Just a little hype, pre-taped video. Oh, we're in the time range, so we don't necessarily have to like cut any time. I wonder where the Barbarian's gonna debut. Can I already see, or do I have to wait? Oh, it's just recognisable. You know, I would have thought he'd be further up. If I'm completely honest with you, I thought the Barbarian would have been somewhat more of a star in WCW. Let's stick Art Bar over Joey Maggs. Interview with Medusa, that's fine. Eric Bischoff is the interviewer. Medusa cutting a promo on Ricky Steamboat. Thomas Rich can take on Face Men's Gino Caruso. Why not? Let's get a 9-minute Gino match in on WCW Power Hour. Interview with Jimmy Garvin and Michael Hayes. Nice. Let's once again have Bischoff as the interviewer. Jimmy Garvin cutting a promo, and they can cut that on the Steiner brothers. Let's stick Scott and Rick off screen. Where is he? There he is. Interview with Jimmy Garvin and Michael Hayes on taking down the Steiners. Perfect. Book. Just change that interview with Medusa on Ricky Steamboat's antics. I just like to look back and see what I've kind of put in a little bit more. Buddy Landell against Lionheart. You know, that match is actually fine as long as he'll let us put Lionheart over. Nice. Fair play. Video featuring All Japan Pro Wrestling stars Terry Gordy and Steve Williams. It was All Japan, wasn't it? I'm like 99% sure, then if I sound like an idiot. That'll be why. Subjective video. El Texano against Dory Funk. You know what? I fuck with this match. Let's stick Funker over and into Simmons on taking down Vader. Once again, Bischoff interviewer, because he's got like 0 popularity. And Big Van off screen. Nice. 66%, so we'll not be penalised. Let's run this show. That's the quickest we've done Power Hour. So WCW Power Hour opening, hot and rising, happy with that. In a decent match, Art Bar defeated Joey Maggs in 8:13 with a frog splash. Interview with Medusa, who did not do very well improvising. Now the crowd's simmering down. Subpar wrestling and little heat. Thomas Rich defeated Gino with a sit-out suplex slam. Interview with Garvin and Hayes on taking down the Steiners. In a decent match, Lionheart defeated Landell in 8:33 with a Lion Tamer. We got a video featuring All Japan stars Terry Gordy and Steve Williams. And then in our main event, in a decent match, Funk defeated Texano in 6:13 with a pile driver. Finally, Ron Simmons talks about taking down Vader. Perfect. Booking team meeting. We don't need to use anything. No locker room. WCW, shockingly, so unproblematic. Like, you'd think they'd be the terror raisers. WCW Saturday night opening. Let's have 3 minutes with a hype pre-taped video. Once again, just open it up. A couple of montages of the guys. Perfect. This was taped in Atlanta, Georgia. Our hosts are Jim Ross and Paul E. They show footage of an upcoming main event during the show. This show is the last of the tapings done between Kip Frey and Bill Watts. Barry Windham and Arn Andersons build up their 2 out of 3 falls match in the main event for the TV title later. Is one of them TV champion? Oh, Barry Windham? Oh, he's just beat Steve, hasn't he? Yeah, I'm dumb. Paulie insinuates that Arn is bitter about Barry breaking up the 4 Horsemen the year before. I feel good that I've missed out on the 4 Horsemen. Barry Windham and Arn Anderson cut promos on each other to build up their 2 out of 3 falls match for the TV title. Windham and Arn. We don't need to fit the Anderson in there. Main event. 4 minutes. Let's have Barry Windham cut the promo. Same with Arn. Let's also have Paulie under character development and Jim Ross. Nice. We open with Johnny B. Bad against Mike Thor. As noted a couple of days ago, Al Snow didn't have nice things to say about Mark Mero. Johnny B. Bad was a character that you could sum up in one sentence, whereas Wildman Mark Mero was just a guy who liked to spin around and point to his eyes for some reason. I like Al Snow. I don't know how much I care about what he has to say about the business. Like, I'm sure he's got some fun stories, but he's not like a... Like, I've got Mick Foley's first 2 books and Dynamite Kids. To me, that's a little bit more interesting. So this is just a quick little Johnny B. Bad squash match to open Saturday night. Where is he? Is he injured? Oh no, there he is. You worried me there. Let's stick you against a retiring Johnny Saint. And not retiring Johnny Saint, that's fine. That's still good though, that's still good. 7 minutes, let's stick Bad over. Next match, nothing really happens afterwards. DDP and Richard Morton take on Ricky Steamboat and Nikita Koloff. A nice little match which gets Koloff a victory going into his kind of odd main event feud with Sting and Vader. We could do DDP and... Is it Vinny Vegas? Because I know Scott Hall is gone now. So it's DDP, yeah, Vinny Vegas. Is DDP? Oh, for some reason I thought I said it was Vegas. That's fine with me. They can lose to Nikita and Steamboat. Nice. Book that, book that. 7 minutes should be fine. Stick Nikita over because I think he needs the win more than anyone else. Back in the studio, JR and Paulie introduce Medusa. Paul has a bouquet of flowers for her, with one in particular picked out by Rick Rude. JR wonders how you prepare for I guess we have a bikini contest coming up. Medusa accuses Missy Hyatt of doing what she does best, blowing hot air. Meanwhile, Paulie hoots and hollers like it's Jerry Springer, while they both try and outstrip each other, and security tackles Missy before she can undo her shirt. I don't think we need this whole kind of gimmick going on. The Super Invader takes on Jason Knight and gets a quick win in 2:22. Future world's sexiest man, Jason Knight. Do we have Scott Norton? Yes, we do have Scott Norton. Perfect. Instead of taking on Jason Knight, I wish people wouldn't slam their fucking doors. We can have him in a handicap match, taking on faces. He can take on Billy Robinson, who I was building up and is now retiring. Fine, we'll figure something out for you, Billy Robinson. I'm going to take you and Johnny Saint's already wrestling, so we can put you with Tony Sinclair. Seven minutes should do. Let's stick Norton over. We then get a WCW magazine update with Eric Bischoff. Eric is keeping a close eye on the Missy Medusa situation leading up to Beast Splash. Also, there's a battle royale at the Omni. But back to Beach Blast, which has a main event of Cactus Jack against Sting. So to build this up, we go back to September of '91 with a Jack Sting confrontation. Get a promo from Sting, where he notes that fans are skeptical that they'll even end up out of the building. You never know. Sting notes that fans are skeptical that they'll even end up out of the building when he wrestles Cactus Jack. When he wrestles, that's fine. We can just have Eric Bischoff as the interviewer and Sting cutting a promo on Cactus. Sweet. So then we have Dustin Rhodes against Rip Rogers. As the WCW announcers talk about the matches at the Omni the next night. Sam Houston was backstage for the show. Abdullah was scheduled to lose to Dustin, but refused and quit the company. Ron Simmons won a 20-man battle royale, last eliminating Arn Anderson. Wyndham pinned Big Josh. Super Invader pinned Jimmy Garvin. Dustin pinned Eaton after Zbyszko shoved Eaton off the top. I guess this is a Larry Zbyszko base turn? Yeah, parent turn first. Steiner pinned Muta after the 15-minute mark with a belly to belly after catching Muta coming up the top rope. Nikita pinned Vinny. Rude pinned Steamboat at the 21-minute mark after Medusa interfered and clipped Steamboat. Simmons pinned Arn and Sting pinned Austin. Solid show, I'll give him that. Tempted to book it if we didn't have Beach Blast so soon. So let's have Dustin take on heel. Some take on Benoit. Stick Dustin Rhodes over. Nice. Then we get a Clash of the Champions update with Eric and Lance, as they break down the NWA Tag Team title tournament. Clash of the Champions update with Eric Bischoff and Lance Russell as they break down the NWA World Tag Team Tournament. Eric Bischoff is character development with Lance Russell, who I think actually has retired and left the business. So instead, we can change that to Magnum TA. Let's change this. Anyway, World Tag Teams. Add Magnum. Nah, a minor role. And we can get promos from... You know, I can't generally remember who's in it. Let's just cut in a promo. Let's have Wellington Wilkins, Silver King, Miguel Perez isn't here, that's not ideal. Joe, Texano, Dean, Eddie, Benoit, and Art. Nice. We then get the WCW title match between Barry Windham and Arn Anderson. Which, Back in, Barry hits him with a lariat out the corner for 2, and then Steve Austin runs in for the DQ at 30-12. And the title can't change with the DQ, so Barry Windham retains the title. And that's the end of the Kip Allen Frey era of WCW, as everything changes next week. Truth be told, I am excited to see what happens next week with Bill Watts' era. Heard nothing but bad things. So we'll see. We'll see. So let's do a one-on-one. It's Barry Windham against Arn Anderson. I'm happy to make this match a half an hour on TV. Let's make it for the world television. Windham goes over, storyteller match. And let's just make it a DQ finish by interference on Windham by Steve. I can be a bit unhappy, we'll just give him some money. Yeah, 1 minute. Let's have a WCW Beach Blast. Add. So we go hype, pre-taped, video. In the ring's fine. 3 minutes. Nice. Let's add these boys as well. Perfect. Everything looks out. We need something there. What can we have? Let's just do WCW magazine update with Eric Bischoff. Perfect. We can have all these cutting a promo. With little old Eric as the interviewer. What is his popularity like? It's not bad, but it's not great. If we... yeah, just book this segment. 6 minutes is pretty long, though. 3 will do. 3 will do. Nice. Was the analysis say that Arn's a bit unhappy? That's fine. Roster, Eric Bischoff. Has your popularity risen at all? Mostly. Not too bad, not too bad. Little tired boy, had a busy day at work. So we got the WCW Saturday night opening. Did well. I feel like I need to make sure this is Saturday night. And about which had decent wrestling, but didn't have much heat. Johnny B. Bad defeated Johnny Saint in 6:31 by pinfall with a Wild Thing. 55, very happy with that. Barry Windham and Arn Anderson cut promos on each other to build up their 2 out of 3 falls main event for the TV title later on tonight. Paulie insinuates that Arn is bitter about Barry breaking up the Four Horsemen a year before. WCW magazine update with Eric Bischoff. And in a good match, Nikita and Steamboat defeated the Diamond Mine. This will be the best match Diesel's ever going to get. When Nikita pinned DDP with a Russian sickle. Steamboat carried the match in terms of in-ring fun. Look at that 90. I knew I'd skip something. Sometimes it just lags that little bit that I'm like, did it. In a poor match, Norton defeated Robinson and Tony Sinclair in 707 when Scott pinned Tony with a brainbuster. Fucking hell, if someone else slams that door. Sting notes that fans are skeptical that he'll even end up out of the building when he wrestles Cactus Jack. In a decent match, Dustin defeated Benoit in 9:43 with a running bulldog. We got a Clash of Champions update with Eric Bischoff and Magnum TA as they break down the NWA World Tag Team Tournament. And then in a main event, in about which had great heat and good wrestling, Windham defeated Arn in 29:50 when Arn was disqualified when Steve Austin ran in and attacked Windham. Barry Windham makes defense number 1 of the TV title. We end with a Beach Blast ad. What was the angle that we missed? Oh, we didn't have... Oh, God, I meant to put it there. That's fine. Honestly, very good show. Really happy with that. Made 188,000. Pop's gone up. If we can keep shows like that, absolutely fine. And now we have Superstars. But June 6th, no one gets the night off. Where were we last time? We're on Saturday the 6th now, so I think we were back up in the Great Lakes. Booking team meeting, not much going on. Locker room incident. Doug Summers, you can hang out. Skinner ran a drill. Heenan pulled a classic rib on Skinner. Jannetty and Tab butted heads. Knobs got some heat. Jimmy Snooker almost got into a fight with Nails. Flair got into an argument with a fan. Flair is happy. Monsoon was passing on tips. Mustafa's an arsehole. Kerry Von Erich has an angle idea. Bulldog was a bit of a prick. It's all been completed. Nice. You can see me getting more and more fed up with the wrestlers just being a nightmare. So WWF Superstars opening. I know soon enough we're going to lose the Warrior, so it's going to be a very Undertaker heavy show. We're not going to personally lose the Warrior. We can keep booking him, but he will go, and especially with Sid's gone. This week we have a special interview with Papa Shango. And in action, Bret Hart, Nasty Boys, Crush, and Repo. So we open up with Bret Hart against Tom Stone, with Shawn and Sherry in an insert promo. So he can take on heel. Let's have him take on Maniac Mark. I'm also happy to make it a title match. Bret going over. Ozzy Road in. Go on, Maniac Mark, man. Stick Bruce in there. Sean and Sherry in an insert promo. As Sean looks at the mirror, Sherry is holding up while putting himself over. Sean and Sherry promo. As Sean looks into a mirror, that Sherry is holding up while putting himself over. Perfect. Sean cutting a promo. Sensational Sherry on Brett off screen. Nice. We then get the WWF report with Gene Oakland. We saw last week when the convict attacked Bossman. Then Oakland learns this convict goes by the name Nails that he earned from his inmates. Scary. Stop. Got Gene, kind of as the interviewer. Big Bossman and Nails cutting promos. Nails is shown in front of a brick wall with Bossman's nightstick as he says no one can stop him now. So we'll just have Nails cutting a promo on Big Bossman. We then have Reno Riggins and Major Yates against the Nasty Boys. So I think we have a Nasty Boys high energy promo. So if we have Marty, Owen, Brian Knobbs and Jerry Sags. Marty Jannetty. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think we have a high energy Nasty Boys storyline. ING and insert promo. Talk about Jimmy Hart and the Nasty Boys. Nice. What's up, Owen? Putting a promo with Marty on Brian Knobbs and Jerry Sags. In fact, we can stick them on character development along with Jimmy Hart, as they'll be wrestling a nice little match. Getting some random jobbers. Where is... No, it's a shame that this will be end up the Warlord staying here. The Nasty Boys taking on Face, Men, Jim Powers and Coco Beware. 5 minutes is fine. Let's stick Knobs over. Perfect. An ad for the WWF Championship airs. We can stick that in. With Vince McMahon as an interviewer talking to Lex. Cutting a promo for 2 minutes. Now Texas Tornado against Mike Collins. Vince puts over the Fitness Expo and how Tornado will be in attendance. Tornado is then shown in an insert promo plugging his appearance at the Expo and predicts that David Dearth will win the WWF Championship. I'm happy to have a 2v2 of teams. Let's have the Von Erichs take on Heels. They could take on the Powers of Pain. The Barbarians going. Let's have Kerry and the loser be the Barbarian. fine. The Beverly Brothers take on Mike Samples and Scott Bailey. The Beverleys tease some kid wearing Legion of Doom shoulder pads and take them off. Nice, we can add that. 2v2, big tag heavy show. The Beverly Brothers take on Face Men, Keith and Ross Hart of the Hart Foundation. Does a match this happen? Never. Fair. 4 minutes, stick bow over. That here. The Beverly Brothers tease some kid wearing Legion of Doom shoulder pads and then take them off. So it's a bow, cutting a promo with Blake and the Genius on Animal, Hawk and Paul Ellering. Paul Ellering, nice. We can do that post-match, why not? Crush takes on George Anderson. Crush himself in insert promo as he predicts Gary Stridham will crush the WEF. Gary Stridham. Let's have Kenny Kendall. Where is he? There he is. How's he got cooled momentum? He's another win recently. Who's Ron Slicker? Kenny Kendall can take on heel, men, General Adnan. Stick Kendall over. Put that here. Gene Oakland welcomes Papa Shango to the interview platform. We see clips of Shango putting the curse on Warrior, and how last week, when he set his opponent's feet on fire. Oakland asks Shango what's going on, as Shango asks Warrior how it feels to not be in control. Shango then tells Warrior he has entered his dark world and into the Black Circle. Shango then leaves as Undertaker is petrified. Nice. High Energy then get a win over Kato and Kevin Kruger. Shango tells Warrior to enter his dark world and into the Black Circle. Gene is the interviewer, and Papa cutting a promo on the Ultimate Warrior. Nice. Not Hango. Papa Hango. Perfect, put that here. We have High Energy against Kato and Kevin Kruger. Nasty Boys couldn't insert promo during that. Do we already? Oh no, there they are. They can take on heel, males. Take on Mustafa and Haku. Six minutes should be fine. Let's stick Party Marty over. Nasty Boys and Jimmy Hart show an insert promo as they promise to short circuit High Energy. Yeah. Then have a Repo Man match, which don't care about. So Jimmy Hart cutting a promo with Brian Knobbs and the Sagman on Marty Jannetty character development. And whom else? Owen Hart. Nice. Improvised is fine. In the main event, or a main event, I would like to do Randy Savage taking on Ray Stevens. If we check his match history, I know he's retiring in like 80 days. Most recently he's lost to Slaughter. He 6 for 3. The only time he lost another match. Oh no, he did win that. Oh yeah, he was in the Royal Rumble, wasn't he? 15 minutes. DF heavyweight. Randy Savage. Nice. It's given Ray Stevens that retirement run, and then nothing else happens. I would also like to do a separate main event. Got 94 minutes. Put that there. I would like to do Sid against The Undertaker, which ends in a DQ finish for The Undertaker after interference on The Undertaker by Papa Shango. Papa Shango and Sid seem to be in cahoots. That's fine, I can cut a bunch of minutes. 2 minutes. Those couple of minutes. 2 minutes once again. Adnan against Kendall, that can be a singular minute. Nice. What is the booking analysis? Jimmy Hart's a bit unhappy with the booking of that promo. Where's Jimmy Hart? This one? Make it improvised. Nice, everyone's happy. What does book analysis say? Nothing at all. 72, so we'll not be penalised. Let's run the show. So we got WWF Superstars opening, in about which are good heat and decent wrestling. Oh, Vince McMahon and Freddie Blassie have pretty good chemistry. Brett defeated Maniac Mark in 10:06 with a sharpshooter to make defence number 2 of the IC title. Shawn and Sherry promo as Shawn looks into a mirror that Sherry's holding up while putting himself over. An extremely short match, the Nasty Boys defeated Jim Powers and Coco when Knobs pinned Jim Powers with a trip to Nastyville. High Energy in an insert promo talk about Jimmy Hart and the Nasty Boys. The Von Erichs defeated the Powers of Pain when Kerry submitted Brian. That was absolutely genuine. When Kerry submitted the Barbarian with an iron claw. We then get a WWF special report with Gene Oakland. We saw last week, I didn't mean to click that, when the Convict attacked Bossman. An extremely short match, the Beverleys defeat the Hart Foundation when Bo pinned Keith with a Shaker Height spike. The Beverleys tease some kid wearing Legion of Doom shoulder pads and then take them off them. Kendall defeated Adnan in 59 seconds by submission. And Nails is in front of a brick wall while Bossman's nightstick, as he says no one can stop him now. High Energy defeated Colonel Mustafa and Haku when Janetti pinned Haku with a rocket dropper. I can't really work the crowd anymore, can I? Nasty Boys and Jimmy Hart are shown in insert promo as they're willing to short circuit High Energy. Solid, happy with this. In a voucher great heat and decent wrestling, Savage defeated Stevens in 15:27 with an elbow drop to make defense number 2 the WWF Heavyweight title. An ad for the WWF Championship airs. And in our main event with fantastic heat and great wrestling, Taker defeated Sid when Sid was disqualified after Papa Shango ran in and attacked Taker. Gene Oakland welcomes Papa Shango to the interview platform. We see clips of Shango putting the curse on Warrior. Shango tells Warrior he has entered his dark world into a black circle. You know what? Very solid show. I'm happy with that. Could have done with a better finishing angle, but meh, come see, come ça. Todd Olson looks like he'd batter me. He also kind of looks AI. Oh, what happened there? Todd Olson, wrestler. Oh, dead at 58 in 2015. That's quite sad. What did General Career look like? Wrestling in the NWA a bit. The SW. Solid enough career. So WCW really struck gold with Saturday Night. Superstars was great. SWS morale issues. Tony Sinclair's contract's ending. That's fine. I'm happy to bring him in on a handshake, per show, no ironclad. Next 9 months? What if you don't have to do house shows? Nice. Jimmy Valiant's contract's ending. Once again, happy to just negotiate, handshake, per show. We can talk again in 9 months. Well then, how much were you previously on? 700. You're the one who's lost, Pop. Give an extra hundo. Be on everything except house shows. That's fine. And then Dustin Rhodes. All Japan. 18 months exclusive. Your offer is 10 years. Their offer is not being seriously considered. Wait. Mine was 10 years. Or to Dusty or Dustin. Yeah, oh, Dusty Rhodes stays here. Dustin does go elsewhere. Eric Bischoff, you can continue to be here. What are you saying, WWF? Scott Hall, finally. We got you here. Yes, we would like you in as Razor Ramon. Adnan's contract is ending. We can just let you go, to be honest, Adnan. Don't know how much we could actually use you. And we can replace you with... Steve Dodds look familiar. With Steve Collins. Handshake, pair show, no ironclad. Next 6 months. Perfect. So we've got wrestling challenge. Everyone's got an issue. I know there's an issue with the backstage atmosphere. I'm obviously trying to work on it. Where's Lex have? Not backstage atmosphere. Bloody hell, you haven't even debuted yet and you're unhappy. 51. It's all this shit. Let's all... Where's Colonel Mustafa? If I release you now... Ugh. Is anyone like unhappy with Chief J Strongbow? As much as I would like to keep him. Yeah, just get rid of him. Backstage, who else? But they're all mildly negative, so it doesn't really mean anything. Billy Graham we can just get rid of. Of course, I got your exclusive written. That's fine. Backstage. Randy, Nails, Kevin, Snooker, Jim. I don't care enough about Hillbilly Jim. Bruce Hart. He'll let you go. Where is Hillbilly Jim? Who's happy? Oh, Hogan, of course. Genius. Alright, you can stay. Me and Cheap J, alright, yeah, Cheap J. Back and bullshit. Alright, we have Wrestling Challenge. That's our auto-booked show. I am going to disappear for a brief moment. And then I shall be back. We can book Wrestling Challenge. Oh, I keep forgetting pins and needles. Alright, we're back. This part is absolutely not going to be cut from the video, so I apologise to anyone that might have watched this. Ugh. Quite nice outside. It's cold in the flat, like. Let's carry on. Let's carry on. Warrior, you always have problems. Roddy Piper. WCW main event. Thankfully, this is an auto-booked show for us. Where are we, in the southeast? Yeah. Oh, grieve, Karen. Sorry, I don't mean to yawn so much. I'll cut that out. Because I feel relaxed in your company. Oh. Need to address the locker room. Just auto-book this whole show. I feel like there's a select group of wrestlers that it's constantly pushing, and I'm okay with this. Nice. Let's change this to a WCW main event opening. So hype, pre-taped video. Get the man in here. Nice. Joey Mags against our bar. We did this match literally last week. Yeah. Let's change it to Eddie Guerrero. Perfect. Book segment. Interview with Johnny B. Bad on the WCW Light Heavyweight title. Ryan. Scott Armstrong and Scotty Flamingo. Quick Flamingo victory. Interview with Medusa on Rick Rude and Ricky Steamboat. Medusa, Ricky Steamboat, Rick Rude. Eric is the interviewer. Same with here. Steve Armstrong against Kazmaier. Let's stick Kazmaier over. Interview with Jimmy Garvin and Michael Hayes on the United States Tag Team Championship. Eric is the interviewer. Jimmy Garvin just also cut the promo. Thomas Rich against Buddy Landell. Let's stick Landell over. Video featuring Abdullah, Cactus Jack, Terry Gordy, and Steve Williams. Van Hammer against Scott Norton. I think this is a fair time to stick Scott Norton over. An interview with Ron Simmons on gunning for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Eric is the interviewer. On Sting and Big Van. Perfect. WCW main event opening. Eddie defeated Joey Mags in 704 with a frog splash. Interview with Johnny B. Bad on the WCW Light Heavyweight title. Flamingo defeated Scott Armstrong in 112 with a pile driver. Interview with Medusa on Rick Rude and Ricky Steamboat. Kazmaier defeated Armstrong in 6:41 by submission. Garvin and Hayes cut a promo on the United States Tag Team Championship. Buddy Landel defeated Thomas Rich in 5:46 with a corkscrew elbow drop. Got a video featuring Abdullah, Cactus Jack, Terry and Steve Williams. And in a bout which had decent reaction from the crowd but subpar wrestling, Norton defeated Van Hammer in 6:08 with a brainbuster. And we end with Simmons talking about gunning for the World Heavyweight title. Finances was fine, solid enough show. And now Wrestling Challenge. Where are we at? May 31st, 6th of June, so we're back in the Great Lakes. Locker room. Skinner. Bruce Hart passed on tips to Owen. That's it, see that's all that needs to happen. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to risk anything. Let's pull a minor rib on Mark. I failed to find anything positive or negative. I'm happy with that. Let's auto book this whole show. With all of this. Doop. Doop. We have a WWF Wrestling Challenge opening. Perfect. Improvise will do. Duggan against Barbarian. It's not Barbarian. Let's have heel, male. Dino can beat Duggan. Stick Bravo over. Interview with Sid and Freddie Blassie on the Warrior. And Sid's alignment with Papa Shango. So Freddie, Sid, cutting a promo on Papa and the Warrior. Snooker against Walker. Let's stick Walker over. Interview with Animal and Hawk on the Beverleys. Hawk cutting a promo on Bo and Blake. Let's have base males. Kenny Kendall beat Volkov. That's fine. Stick Kenny Kendall over. And Crush getting those wins. Interview with Ted and IRS on the WF Tag Team title. Ted also cutting a promo into the interviewer. Nice. Aku interview. Let's have heel. Let's have Shango beat Coco. Video featuring Tanaka and Rick Martel. Stealing the feather. And then Virgil against Smash. Stick Smash over. Interview with Sergeant Slaughter on a Mountie and his shock stick. 3 minutes. The Mountie off screen. Vince is an interviewer. Perfect. 65%, so not be penalised. Issue is Jimmy Snooker's unhappy. That's fine with me. So we've got the Wrestling Challenge opening. Dino Bravo suffered a herniated spinal disc first match. Duggan defeated Dino. An injury to Dino meant the inaudible was called and the finish was changed on the fly. Poor Dino, man. Interview with Sid and Blassie on Warrior and Sid's alignment with Shango. Chris Walker defeated Snooker in 4:45 for the top rope crossbody. Got an interview with Animal Hawk on the Beverleys. Kendall defeated Volkov in 2:41 by submission. Got an interview with Ted and IRS on the tag titles. Shango defeated Coco in 6:55 with the Voodoo Driver. Got a video featuring Tanaka and Martel stealing the feather. Smash defeated Virgil with the crowbar. And Slaughter cut an interview on the Mountie and his shock stick. Awful all around. Out for a year, man. He'll have been deed past this bit. And Dino, man. First match back. What are we gonna do? Do we just wait it out and hope for the best? Might have to. Do we do it? What's the crack? I thought I said pregnant Dino Bravo. Medium risk. It's not even really worth it, is it? Butch has a badly herniated one. Bloody hell. Well, that said, I'm going to end the episode here. Thank you all for sticking around. I appreciate it. Thank you for everyone that watched. It means the world. Look after yourselves, and please, for my sake, your sake, everyone's sake, stay safe.